Choice, shall we play? Mbappe or Neymar? If you had to choose one to be fit, who would you choose?
I would choose Kylian Mbappe.
Would you?
Simply because, I think Neymar has showed a different style of attitude than the one we saw last season and that we discussed so many times on the show. However, he still, and we saw it at Anfield against Liverpool and in a way in the second half against Napoli in Naples as well 2 weeks ago, that when he's in the mode of I need to save the game for my team, it's all about him, all about himself, and he forgets about the team around him. And I really believe that is counterproductive to PSG and to the team's performance. And it was so obvious in that second half against Napoli when every time he had the ball, he tried to dribble past 2 or 3 people to make something happen by himself and not by playing as a team. And I really think that if he's not completely fit, not completely 100%, but you've got an Mbappe full of confidence who is 100% with his pace, that can trouble more this Liverpool defence.
Wow. I would not have expected you to say that, Jules. Would you agree? Who'd you have?
Mbappe.
Would you?
Every time.
Every single thing that Jules says there, I agree 100%.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, you laughed at me a while ago when I said Barcelona would be a better side without Neymar. They won the title the next year because Neymar wants to do everything for himself.
That was the same show.
When he's having a bad game...
That was the same show you said they should bring an Iron Robin.
I didn't say they should bring Iron. You got that wrong. You're making that up. But what Neymar does, when he's not having a good game, as he didn't in the second half against Napoli, as he didn't against Liverpool when they closed him out of the game, he still wants to get the ball and take people on just to show that he's still got that talent. And he loses possession. They're counter-attacked. Mbappe, even if he's not having a good game, one ball played in behind, he makes a dynamic run, he can cause you problems. Neymar has to be at his best.
I mean, if the both of them are out, obviously it's a huge blow, but I mean, Mbappe's pace, as well as his quality, it just frightens defenders. It can change the game.
But this is Neymar.
His attitude.
Well, I know it's Neymar, but it's Neymar who's sort of huffed and puffed, not Ronaldo and Messi, 50 goals a year. So,
And Liverpool's back line, they have to decide when Mbappe's playing, do we squeeze up? Because if we leave too much space in behind, he's going to run in behind. Do we drop that little bit deeper? They're going to have to make decisions if Mbappe's playing. If Neymar's playing, they're going to squeeze higher up the field and try and get tight to him, get somebody marking him all the time and nick the ball off him and try and counter-attack from there. Mbappe's the more dangerous player.
What you should do is go and ask the rest of the PSG team. Because I tell you, they'll probably all go for Mbappe. Because when you've got a player like Neymar, who time after time after time is losing the ball, they all know he's playing for himself. He's putting them all out the game. He's putting the team at risk. But then you've got Mbappe, who, if he may be having a bad game, he's losing it because he's actually trying to help his team. That makes a huge difference during a game to the attitude of everybody else around you.
Hello, welcome to Extra Time. I feel we need to address what is happening to my right first.
Yeah, well,
I've never seen anything quite like that. No. This is triple-breasted.
It's double-breasted with 3 buttons.
Right.
It's been brought out the wardrobe. It's been in there a long time, let me tell you. But it's come back out again.
What inspired the...
Well, I knew that I had to come here with these men's of fashion. Giorgio Armani over there, Paul Smith over there. So I better wear something different.
What you got...
Oh,
as soon as you walked in, I went, you got good grief.
It's different.
Giorgio Smith.
Wow.
Let's be fair, it's been handed down through generations.
It certainly has, yeah.
And what's the lining? Is it anything?
Oh, it's Paul Smith.
Wow, there we go.
Who?
A couple of Paul Smith mentions there.
Yeah, well, might get free gear.
I doubt.
No?
Don't take it.
Oh, no. All right.
Don't take it if it offers you.
Do Italy's strikers need a sports psychologist to get past their inefficiency in front of goal?
Well, the strikers they've got playing at the moment, they're not, I wouldn't say they're the best in Italy. Politano's a good player who came on and as a sub and scored the goal.
Yeah.
But overall, this isn't a great Italian side. They haven't got great strikers. When you think that Gabbiadini was thought of as a great striker a little while ago and he can't play for Southampton. So they're not blessed with great attackers at the moment.
Sports psychologist, will that sort it out?
You're not really that bad.
It's okay.
No, you are. Somebody put on Twitter, the usual on Twitter, it was one of the guys we know. He started with even a lasagna would have scored that. All those lines, you know what I mean?
How about a hypnotist?
Have you ever been hypnotised, Stevie?
I haven't been hypnotised either. No, I've tried it.
He's hypnotised himself.
You tried it? What to...
Well, you know when you go there, everybody has to do that with their hands or something, right? When you...
No.
I've never heard that.
No.
So you've never been to see a hypnotist?
No.
Once in Ibiza.
Right, so you didn't...
What were you trying to cure?
No, but they get people up on the stage. It wouldn't be like a group thing.
Well, what they do is they have people in the audience, so they ask you to. What this guy did was he said, right, I want everybody to put their hands together and concentrate.
Okay.
Shut your eyes and concentrate on what I'm saying.
Right.
But I could, and then, so what happened is, he'll tell you to look up and try and separate your hands.
Okay.
And if you can't separate your hands, then he knows he's got you under.
Oh.
Unfortunately, or fortunately,
Well, they're big hands.
You never
Big
believed
hands.
in it anyway, did you?
Yeah.
You weren't a believer.
Well, I believe in hypnotism. It's a
Well,
real thing.
to be
isn't it?
fair, when you're sitting watching people on the stage doing things, you believe it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever been hypnotised?
No. You should interlock your hands around a can of beer.
They never come off then, would they?
Jules, have you ever been hypnotised?
No, never. Sorry, boys.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Imagine you at a hypnotist. I just can't. Look into my eyes.
Where was this?
It was actually my mate's boozer. It was a Sunday.
Actually sounding very
Mate's
professional.
boozer.
That's those Liverpool supporters he talks about.
So there's a
That bloke
hypnotist,
in the boozer.
hypnotist in a pub in Liverpool.
Yes. Birkenhead.
Oh, even worse.
Wow.
One second. How many people were under? Was there any?
Aye, there was about a dozen people.
And were they just putting it on?
Well, they're
But
just sitting
you know that.
Let's
Roll with
no, because the things you made them do, you wouldn't normally do.
They were naughty things, yeah? I went to a naughty one and he was like...
No, well, that's
Typical you. Yeah, exactly.
What was your assessment of the US soccer? Oh, of US soccer in 2018, and what changes are needed to improve for 2019, especially for the upcoming Gold Cup?
Pony.
Excuse me? You hypnotised?
Pony. Pony. I have to translate that from slang British, which would mean abysmal.
What changes? Well, a manager would help.
Yeah, that'd be a good
That
start.
would be a good place to start, I would
Yes.
think.
Robbo, you weren't in the show and we were discussing
No,
it.
but it doesn't look as though they're producing players at the moment. That's the biggest
They are
problem.
bad ones.
Yeah, they're not good enough to play on the international level at the moment.
Juliana Ron, is PSG defensively good enough to make a serious run in the Champions League? If not, who should be sold and who would be better all-round fix?
It's a good question. I think going three at the back, like Thomas Tuchel has done so far this season, has been very good for that, for them being stronger defensively. However, they still need that holding midfielder, that number 6, that Thomas Tuchel and the club tried to get in the summer. Couldn't get Conte over the line, couldn't get a few other names over the line, like Julian Weigl as well from Borussia Dortmund. They will try again in January. If they get someone who can do that job of protecting that back three and controlling that sort of defensive game that they can have, then I think they'll have a chance if the front three and the other players obviously play at their best. But right now, I have to say, it's a weakness that we saw being exposed against Napoli and Liverpool in the group stages.
Yeah, Jules. Are we talking about Peter? Oh, I'm only asking this anyway. Here, Jules. Frank Leboeuf tried to sell us on last night's show that the Europa League might be a good victory for PSG this year. What do you think?
Yeah, but no. I mean, I love Frank, but I don't. It'd be a huge failure if they were knocked out by Liverpool and Napoli in the group stage. And I don't think the Europa League, even if they went on and win it, wouldn't be a good consolation at all. I think it would be a trophy, but too far from the one that they actually really want, and they've spent so much money to get to. And I think that I'm not even sure people at the club would be actually happy with the Europa League win, and certainly a lot of the fans and the players and Thomas Tuchel himself would feel like the failure of not going further in the Champions League would be much bigger than winning the Europa League.
Does Stuart Robson know from today what Champions League game he'll be working on next week? I love his co-commentary and his analysis. Wow.
I'm trying to think. I'm on 2 games this week. I'm trying to think what they are at the moment. Next week, yes. Who am I doing?
PSG Liverpool?
No, I'm not doing that game.
That's a big game. What are you doing?
I'm doing Napoli.
Napoli Red Star.
Red Star. And I'm doing Manchester City against Lyon.
Oh, dear. They're not very good.
They're not the greatest.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
upset.
in France.
No, I could only do the Tuesday for one company. I could only do the Wednesday, and they were the games available.
Wow, okay.
Well, the games are okay.
Yeah.
Not really.
Lyon versus Man City is a big game for Lyon.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Keep telling yourself that.
You're going to be wearing that jacket when you're commentating?
it doesn't matter, they can't see me, I can wear what I like.
Yeah, well, we can, so don't wear it again.
If a Hollywood movie was made on each of you, what would the title be, and who would you like to cast in as the lead? Frank Leboeuf could play you. He's an actor these days.
Right Said Fred, does people know who Right Said
I
Fred
very
are?
much doubt
I
it.
doubt it. So what was the question again? It's he was
Jason Statham?
yes, Jason Statham. He could play me.
He couldn't pull off that jacket, could he?
No, he could. He's
could
a Londoner.
yeah,
You got to be a-
he's, yeah.
Let's be honest,
He's got a six-pack like me, apparently.
Only a Londoner would wear a jump jacket like that.
Jumper.
Only
I think it's all right, this jacket.
Stevie, who do you think would
Well,
play you in 5 packets of crisps and a title?
No idea.
I don't know either.
Ray Winston.
No. They need to be a ginger.
Sean Connery.
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, right, no.
Not
I got my
That's not
What was you
possible.
thinking?
I was thinking of a different Kevin and got panicky, but don't worry.
No, what you mean.
I can't think of a ginger.
What about Craig?
I don't know. I don't know any actors.
Yeah. Somebody good looking and handsome, tall and handsome.
Oh, well, that last question failed, really, but thank you for saying
What about you?
I don't know.
Danny DeVito?
Dan DeVito.
Thin DeVito?
DeVito.
I think so, with a bit more hair.
Napoleon. The film could be the life of Napoleon. You could be Napoleon.
Just Napoleon syndrome. And there it is.
All you got to do is.
Oh, I've got you.
All you got to do is.
I got you.
Go on. Shove your arm in your jacket.
Al Pacino. Back of the, get him in the boot of the car. What was that film?
Are you trying to say he's
Goodfellas?
aggressive?
Goodfellas, yeah.
No, I'm saying he's small.
That's the biro, isn't it? The biro.
I don't know what he does, but the guy was effectively dead when he got in there. When he was in the trunk.
Good
Do
film.
you mean Joe Pesci?
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
That's him.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
Al Pacino.
Same thing, isn't it?
Al Pacino's 5'1" and all.
I know.
He was in The Godfather.
But I got
Al
him mixed
Pacino.
up.
That was what he was known for.
Al Pacino and Joe Pesci. One of them.
We are brilliant at
I think one's a better actor than the other.
Hey, middle that lemon.
Right, come on.
Right, I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know. Let's go. Oh, crikey.
Oh, dear.
We'll be back tomorrow for more. When are you away tomorrow, Robert?
Oh,
Hey.
back for some
Not
more.
like the Seven Dwarfs. You could be, what's his face, grumpy.
Oh, I don't think he's grumpy. There's many things he is, but not grumpy.
Dopey.
Don't make him be that one as well. You could just be a combo of them all.
Living the dream.
I can be okay with them not being technically good enough, them not having the team cohesion, the tactics down. But the U.S. men's national team used to be a very difficult, very spirited side to play against them. And if you knew you're playing against this team, it was going to be a very difficult effort to get anything by them. They were very difficult to break down. It was very tactically organized.
Yeah.
It was a lot of effort going from one way to another. Defensively, I don't even see that.
Is this the lowest the US have ever been?
It has to be, because of the inroads they've made in the last 2 decades. You're talking about a team that was nowhere near in the CONCACAF picture of being one of these giants that they're so-called now, and all of a sudden dominating Mexico, all of a sudden first place in every World Cup qualifying cycle, all of a sudden you're getting to the second knockout rounds of World Cups, to this moment where you need a tie versus a Trinidad and Tobago squad, and you can't even get that. You're the laughingstock of CONCACAF. Teams don't. They never feared you, but they always respected you. You are no longer respected in world football.
Yeah.
This is by far one of the lowest moments, if not the lowest moment.
I don't normally struggle for words, but I was when Stevie summed it up. It's a waste of time. I just feel that, it was okay before the World Cup, playing some kids, getting a draw with France, blah, blah, blah. But then, when the World Cup's on and you're not there, get yourself organised as a federation and make a decision. Bosh. World Cup finishes, qualifier start, whatever starts, the Nation League starts, you can go and play some games, have your coach in place, get your nucleus in there, start working on your strategy, working on your shape, working what you want from players. They've just been away playing all these games, and it's not Dave Sarakin. It's not his fault, but it's just the whole thing now is just one big bore fest.
Even during international week, Jules, Dembele can't escape it.
Yeah, it's a tough time. It's a really tough time for him, and I think there's a lot of people at the club, and like we saw with Luis Suarez in the dressing room as well, that are clearly not happy with his lifestyle and the way he lives his life as a football player. I mean, he lives with his best friend Mustafa. They grew up together. Let's say that they spend a lot of time playing PlayStation and video games. That's what they do. And instead of trying to integrate himself a bit more to the dressing room, but also to Spanish life and to life in Barcelona, to learn the language, he's still doing his own stuff on his own. And when it's okay on the football pitch and when he does well like he did at the start of the season, because he started the season so well, everything is fine. The problem is when his discipline is becoming an issue. So when he's late, when he doesn't turn up for training, when they can't get hold of him, then that becomes another bigger problem, if you want. And when he doesn't deliver on the pitch either, that's when things start to become really difficult. And I think he has to worry about his future at the club now.
How would you feel if you were him, Craig, and you had Piqué's done it, Suarez doing it just yesterday, calling you out publicly?
I'd listen. I'd have to listen. I mean, wouldn't necessarily agree with the public hanging out to dry, but you know, maybe the players feel that they've tried everything else. I don't know. Look, he needs to listen. Young guys need to listen to senior players, particularly young guys with so much talent that have got an attitude problem.
The problem is, he's got himself in this situation because he's not thinking clearly.
Right.
So is he actually going to take in the good advice he's getting from the older pros? I'm not so sure he will. If
you could introduce it tomorrow, would you? Or would you have to wait till the start
of
the
season? They haven't figured out, just for example in the Premier League, they haven't figured out how they're going to use VAR properly. Is the referee going to go over to a monitor to decide, or is he going to be instructed 100% by the referee?
But they say they get all the protocols sorted.
Yeah.
Say it's sorted, get it in.
And get it in for UEFA. Why would you have a World Cup final where people were saying, oh, we can't have another World Cup final without VAR because mistakes might be made, it's too important? So why is it not too important for a Champions League final? Or a Premier League team getting relegated?
The earlier it comes in, the better, both in the Champions League and in the Premier League.
The counter-argument is that people are saying, yeah, but what about those decisions that went against you when you didn't have VAR? If you brought it into the Premier League tomorrow, then that's unfair. Is that an argument?
Absolute nonsense. Listen, you want the right decision and you want the right result. Who with any common sense wants a bad decision, left a bad decision that might cost somebody a game? Sure. That makes no sense.
But that'll be the gripe. And I know your point's probably with Charlie Austin at Southampton, who went off in Iran after the decisions that went against Southampton in the game against, I think it was Watford. If Southampton are relegated, then that's all you would hear. Well, the VAR should have been in earlier. So, you know, if people can put up with the gripes, because there will be a lot of gripes for clubs, then why not?
Watford should have had a penalty in that game as well, so you could be here all day.
The Premier League will not bring it in before the start of next season.
Final word on this from you, Jules?
I just think they can't introduce it in the Premier League because it would be unfair, and all the games that we've played so far this season would have had to be replayed. You can't change the rules halfway through the season.
Jules, it doesn't matter.
Introducing VAR now.
Jules!
But no, of course it is. You would change the rules. If you introduce VAR now, you change the rules. Of course you're changing the rules.
You're just getting the decision
It's
right.
a completely different game.
You're not changing the rules, you're just getting the decision right.
It's nothing to do with the rules.
Exactly.
What rule are you changing?
But it's a completely different game if you've got VAR than if you don't have VAR.
So you're
saying it's a different game if you have VAR and if you don't have VAR. So all those teams that lost points because there was no VAR before, now are going to say, hang on a minute, I want to replay my game because I got done in that game because there was no VAR, and now with VAR I will get that win that night. And I could understand it would be completely unfair to introduce VAR now.
But those teams
in the Champions League, the knockout stage.
Those teams make decisions in the next half of the season that go for them when VAR is introduced, and that gains them points. So decisions.
But what if?
Yeah.
But what if that doesn't happen? What if Southampton, for example, even with VAR, there's no controversy anymore. There's no point that VAR will clear up or not. So they say, okay, it's great, we had VAR, but we didn't benefit from VAR at all. Others did, but when there was no VAR, we got done because there was no VAR. So it would be so unfair for them.
So, Jules,
and that's the only reason why, even if the Premier League thought about it.
Are you against it in the Champions League as well, then?
No, because the knockout stage in the Champions League is a new competition.
If PSG don't advance from the group stages because of a mistake that could have been rectified by VAR, that surely goes against your argument, doesn't it?
Well, no, it goes in a way, but once you start the knockout stages, it's a new competition that starts anyway. Those teams who